Hello everyone, Dave here, and welcome back to some more Mass Effect. We left off. Just took control of the Normandy. We've talked to Joker and Joker only. A whole bunch more crew members to go around and talk to. See what everyone's up to. Navigator Presley. Love to talk to Navigator Presley. Cannot talk to Navigator Presley for some reason. The E key does function. Oddly enough, it was not functioning. Cannot actually talk to that guy for some weird ass reason. Seems like we are good here. Nothing to interact with or talk to. Up this side. Nothing. Still can't talk to you, can I? Fine. Ignore your new captain. I'd be angry too. Going on down. Should have the crew members. Engineering bay. What else should we have? Medic bay. The medic officer needs to be talked to. We ain't gonna miss nothing on this playthrough. It's a total lie. We're gonna miss so much crap, but I'm gonna try not to.
Anything you need, Commander?
That was a creepy interaction, walking up to each other, looking for personal input.
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
I've wasted enough of your time for now, Commander. We'll have time for personal debriefings later.
Okay then, way to answer my question.
What's your opinion on the last mission?
I don't see how we could have done things any better. At least not without getting to Eden Prime sooner. And we were on the scene faster than any other Alliance ship could have been.
Tactical appraisal.
What's your opinion on the last mission?
I don't see how we could have. And we
You
were
already
on the
told me
scene
all that.
faster than any other Alliance ship.
We'll talk another time, Commander.
Good. Good dead end conversation. Also, he seemed really quiet to me. I'll tab to turn up my game sounds a little bit. Hopefully I didn't break nothing. Hopefully you guys can't pick up my headphones through the mic. That would be unfortunate.
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
Investigate. Personal questions?
How did you end up serving on
I
board?
enlisted. I wanted to... But humanity needs the Alliance
Already
if we
heard
want
that
to keep
one.
expanding through the Traverse. And the Alliance always needs good doctors. So I stayed on to do my part.
How well do you know the lieutenant?
I'd never worked with him before this mission. But he hasn't... tends to keep to himself, though. Maybe because of the headaches.
I already heard all that
Goodbye,
stuff
Commander.
too. Nothing new so far, which I guess speeds along our process of jumping on out of here. But I mean, I wish I knew it memorized so I could perfectly do a playthrough for you guys and not waste anyone's time. But for now, we're gonna be doing a lot of run around, a lot of talking, a lot of repeats, but we ain't gonna miss nothing. It'll be a genuine first time experience of Mass Effect, especially if this isn't my first time at all. But like, if you're playing this for the first time, that's not even true. I don't know. Because if you were playing this for the absolute first time, wouldn't you... You'd skip stuff because you wouldn't know better to do this. Huh. An experienced person's first time playthrough? Is that thing? Might not be a thing. But I'm sitting here having a conversation with myself because I don't have any friends. And this isn't a multiplayer game. So... No elevator music, slow elevator ride down in my own ship. Let's go, Rex. What you got for me?
You got, Shepard.
Well, thanks.
What can I do for you?
Personal
What's
inquiry.
your story, Rex?
There's no story. Go ask the Quarian if you want stories.
Okay, then. Don't be an ass.
You Krogan lived for centuries. Don't tell me you haven't had a few interesting adventures.
Well, there was this one time the Turians almost wiped out our entire race. That was fun.
I heard about that. You know, they almost did the same to us.
It's not the same.
It seems pretty much the same to me.
So your people were infected with a genetic mutation?
No.
An infection that makes only a few in 1,000 children survive birth? And I suppose it's destroying your entire species?
I mean, it was an arrogant thing for me to
Suppose it
say.
isn't all the same.
I don't expect you to understand, but don't compare humanity's fate with the Krogan.
Touchy subject.
I was just making conversation. I wasn't trying to upset you.
Your ignorance doesn't upset me, Shepard. As for the Krogan, I gave up on them long ago. The genophage infected us, but it's not what's killing us.
Yeah, you're killing each other.
Are your people really dying?
We're sure not getting any stronger. We're too spread out. None of us are interested in staying in our own system.
So?
Lots of species have left their homes and prospered.
But they go to colonize new worlds. We're not settlers. We're warriors. We want to fight. So we leave. Hire ourselves out. And most of us never go back.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
What can you tell me about the genophage?
Ask the Solarians if you want details. They made it. All I know, it makes breeding nearly impossible. Thousands die in stillbirth, and most never get that far. Every Krogan is infected. Every one. And no one's rushing to find a cure.
Because you guys kind of tried to wipe out the fucking galaxy.
Why don't the Krogan try to find a cure?
When was the last time you saw a Krogan scientist?
It's got a good point.
You ask a Krogan, would he rather find a cure for the genophage or fight for credits? He'll choose fighting every time. It's just who we are, Shepard. I can't change that. Nobody can.
You'd be surprised, Rex.
So long, Rex.
Thanks for your people's backstory. So the lockers for dealing with gear.
Commander?
Can we talk?
Do you have a few minutes to talk one-on-one?
I'm sorry, Commander. I need to get my duty squared away. I wouldn't mind talking more later, though.
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Kinda wish you'd got there sooner, Commander. No offense, I appreciate the rescue. I just wish...
You wish we'd been able to save the rest of your unit.
Yes, sir. If I had been more alert, we wouldn't have been cut down by an ambush.
Well, I think I already heard this, but I don't know.
They don't move, they don't make noise, they don't even breathe.
Sir, they have flashlight heads. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Hey, flashlight
Dismissed,
heads.
Sir.
Lols. Good call, girl. The flashlight heads. That's a good line. I remember that line. I don't think we heard that one before.
Thanks for bringing me on board, Commander. I knew
Welcome.
working with the Spectre would be better than life at CSEC.
You knew.
Have you worked with a Spectre before?
Well, no, but I know what they're like. Spectres make their own rules. You're free to handle things your way. At CSEC, you're buried by rules. The damn bureaucrats are always on your back.
For the most part, the rules are there for a reason.
Maybe. But sometimes it feels like the rules are only there to stop me from doing my work. If I'm trying to take down a suspect, it shouldn't matter how I do it, as long as I do it. But CSEC wants it done their way. Protocol and procedure come first. That's why I left.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta make sure you don't go after innocents.
So you just
Important.
quit because you didn't like the way they do things?
There's more to it than that. It didn't start out bad, but as I rose in ranks, I got saddled with more and more red tape. CSEC's handling of Saren was typical. I just couldn't take it anymore. I hate leaving.
You'll get over it,
I hope you made
Lols.
the right choice. I'd hate for you to regret it later.
Well, that's sort of why I teamed up with you. It's a chance for me to get off the Citadel, see how things are done outside CSEC. Either way, I plan to make the most of this. And without CSEC headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe I can get the job done my way for a change.
That
If
depends
getting
on...
the job done means endangering innocent people, then no. We get the job done right, not fast. Got it?
I wasn't trying to. I understand, Commander.
I run this show, not you. Put him in his place. Down, shut the fuck
Looking
up.
for supplies?
New items, licenses.
Let's see what you've
yes.
got.
You bet, Commander.
Prices you got good for me here. Damn, you expensive. I just order you to give me this stuff. Air. I mean, is some of this shit better? Yeah. Fuck it though. We loot our way to glory. Or at least until I know what to sell and I'm rich. What's up, everyone?
Hey, Commander, you know that Quarian, Tally? She's been spending all her time down here asking me about our engines.
She
I'll
bothering
tell
you?
her to leave you alone.
What? No, she's amazing. I wish my guys were half as smart as she is. Give her a month on board and she'll know more about our engines than I do. She's got a real knack for technology, that one. I can see why you wanted her to come along.
It's very useful. I didn't, well.
I figured she'd be a real asset to the team.
You got an eye for Tally, Commander, but I'm guessing that's not why you came down here.
Fill
Stealth
me
systems.
in on the IES stealth systems. How does it work exactly?
You can't hide a ship out in space. They emit too much heat and radiation. Too easy for sensors to pick them up, unless you find a way to capture those emissions. So our stealth systems trap the energy we give off in storage sinks built into the ship itself. No emissions to give away our location. Eventually the sinks have to be vented. More than a few hours silent running and they overheat. Cook us inside our own hull.
So we're invisible?
There's no way
Not
for anyone
quite.
to detect us?
A visual scan can still pick us up. Anyone looking out a window can see us plain as day. But you have to be pretty close to get an actual visual out in space. Most vessels rely on scanners. As long as the stealth systems are engaged, they can't see us. Not unless we accelerate to FTL speeds.
Why doesn't it work with faster than light travel?
Cranking up to FTL blue shifts our emissions, pushes them into frequencies too high to capture in the sinks. As soon as we make the jump, it's like setting off a flare. Sensors can pick up our location whenever we enter or exit FTL flight, but for short-range missions, our stealth systems are amazing, and we've got the only one.
Pretty good, pretty
Where
good.
else have you served, Adams?
If you name a class of Alliance ship, I've probably served on it. Everything from dreadnoughts and carriers right down to frigates like the Normandy. My last assignment was on the Tokyo, only a cruiser, but she was a good ship. Couldn't hold a candle to the Normandy, though.
I want to know more about the Normandy.
She's the best ship I've ever served on, probably the fastest vessel ever designed. And she's the only one using the new Tantalus drive core.
What's so special about the Tantalus drive core?
Proportionally, it's about twice the size of any other vessel. Not only are we faster, we can run at FTL speeds longer before we have to discharge the core.
Good to know. We got speed and
Carry on,
limited
Adams.
stealth. But
Aye, aye.
speed. Speed is our security blanket.
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like this before. I can't believe you were able to fit it into a ship this small.
Yeah, we rock.
I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
This ship is
The
special.
Normandy's a prototype. Cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel space. I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
You're into
I had
ships?
no idea you found ship technology so interesting.
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most valuable resource.
It's true.
But we don't have anything like this. We make do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the Geth.
It's
I
300
can't
years
believe
ago.
your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work.
Mostly.
We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla. Grow our own food, mine, and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
Makes sense.
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some way contribute to the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla,
Jesus.
and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong. Unfortunately, we have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take for granted.
What kind of freedoms?
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point. Of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is temporarily repealed. In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births, though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
The
That's your
Conclave.
government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law. Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
You're democratic.
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials.
In practice, the Conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily lives. But in theory, we are still under military jurisdiction. The 5 top-ranking military officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the Conclave in case of emergency. To do so requires unanimous agreement among the Admiralty, and they can only do this once. After that, the entire board must resign their posts.
That's brilliant.
It's a safeguard that served us well. In nearly 3 centuries, the Admiralty Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
Geth.
I want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins. What they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Tell me.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
Isn't AI research illegal?
How come the council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal. The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought. But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. A million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
Yes, they're all connected.
So, the Geth share brain power?
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in a group, the smarter they are.
Like a hive mind.
So there's some sort of group consciousness?
No, nothing like that. They cannot share sensory data or information. Their programming cannot handle that much simultaneous input. Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious. But when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought.
I don't get
That
it.
doesn't make any sense.
I'm probably oversimplifying. The Geth are incredibly advanced and complex creations. All you need to know is that they get smarter when they gather in large numbers. As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose? As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
I don't see what's so bad about those questions.
The Geth were created to engage in mundane, repetitive, or dangerous manual labor. That's fine for machines, but it won't satisfy a sentient being for long.
True.
The Geth were showing signs of rudimentary self-awareness and independent thought. If the Geth were intelligent, then we were essentially using them as slaves. It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Quarian's
Blame
fucked up.
them for fighting for their survival.
We had no other choice. The Geth were already on the verge of revolution. By acting quickly, we had a chance to end the war before it began. The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld. We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the Veil. Now we drift through space, exile, searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
They defended
It's hard to feel
themselves.
sorry for you. Your ancestors tried to wipe out another species.
We made a mistake when we created the Geth in the first place, but we did not make a mistake when we went to war against them. If we had not acted, they would have wiped us out. They're a synthetic life form. They have no use for organics. None. Why do you think they cut themselves off from the rest of the galaxy? Why do you think they've killed every organic being who's ever tried to contact them?
Not
They
everyone.
didn't kill Saren.
What does that tell you? The Geth are not innocent victims in all this. They're the enemy. They want to destroy us. Not just the Quarians. All organic life. That's why they've joined up with Saren. And that's why we have to stop him.
Could have taught them better. If you just started with good lessons, maybe they wouldn't. But, I mean, it happens.
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
Race made decisions, and this is where we ended up.
We leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage. We set out alone, leaving the flotilla and our families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value we can bring back to the fleet. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
Do they
Can a
always
captain
accept?
choose to reject the gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own standing in our society. Even when the gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, there is a stigma to presenting a substandard gift. It's not the best way to make a good impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile.
Sounds dangerous.
I can't believe they just send you off alone.
I mean, I
It's
can.
not like they just cast us out. Before we leave, we are given lessons in how to survive outside the flotilla, and given gifts to help us on our journey. We also receive implants to fight off sickness and disease. Generations of living in an isolated and highly controlled environment have left our immune systems weaker than most. By the time we leave the fleet, we are well equipped for the pilgrimage. This is a rite of passage for all Quarians. If it were dangerous, our numbers would suffer. Virtually every pilgrimage ends with a triumphant return and the ritual presentation of the gift to one of the fleet's captains.
I want to talk about
That
something
doesn't sound
else.
too dangerous,
Like
to be
what?
honest. Sounds
go.
like there's everything.
See you later.
See you later. Still awesome room, awesome effects, beautiful little drive here. It's not like super complicated, but it looks impressive. And that means we're out of time for this episode because I'm just small talking here, which is what I always do. But anyways, do all the YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell notification, do everything but the thumbs down button. There's so much stuff to do now. Share it to all your friends. Not that they would like it anyways, but do it. Force it down their throats, make the channel grow, and I will see you all in the next video. And died off there on that one. Happens though. We appreciate y'all for being here.